Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, once again, we're going to be revisiting Orderflow, guys. Orderflow is something that our team has had an extreme amount of success with because we don't simply just use Orderflow on its own. Okay, now Orderflow in itself, a lot of people don't actually even know what it's about. So basically what we use it for is to identify order flow contracts in the market. We identify where the buyers or sellers are selling, if the buyers are aggressive, if people are being trapped, where exhaustion is occurring, etc, etc. And we use it in conjunction with our smart money price action. Okay, so we use our price action and we use our order flow. And what we do is we wait for our point of interest to be tapped, and then we start looking at the order flow. So what we do is we use futures data to look at the contracts, okay, within a certain candle. So you see all of these numbers, it's nothing confusing. It's simply just telling you the amount of buyers and sellers on the bid and ask. Okay, so as you can see from the Discord here, guys, so you can see the order flow discussion is something that a lot of people are having very good success with. As you can see, the Brad here is our order flow mentor, and every single day he's setting the same amount of setups over and over again. Okay, so a lot of people are having really nice success with this. Okay, so it's something that a lot of people, they don't know about currently, but I can promise you right now that a lot of people, once we start showing this more and more on the YouTube scene, a lot of people will start getting into it. But obviously the best time is to start learning about order flow now. So I'm going to show you guys a beautiful setup that I was able to catch recently on EURUSD. Okay, so first and foremost, what I like to do is I like to look at the 1 hour on EURUSD and try spot a point of interest. Now, if you guys remember from last week's webinar, okay, on YouTube, the last week's live, we discussed how we tapped into an institutional candle here, okay, on the higher time frame, and I wanted price to eventually smack down here, and price has been following my analysis pretty much to the absolute T. My overall goal is these lows, okay, this triple bottom that I want to eventually get cleared. Now that I understand my higher time frame structure, I move on to where I am in price. Now, this week price on EURUSD has been absolutely horrendous, okay, to say the least. It's very wiki, very choppy, and overall I believe this week's market wasn't the best, and I believe a lot of other traders agree with me on that one. Either way though, there was still a beautiful setup that you could have caught on EURUSD right here. So to drop down to 30-minute time frame is where you'd kind of see this setup a bit clearer. Okay, so what do we have right here? Obviously we have this pullback. Okay, we understand that price action to the downside is bearish. Okay, so we made a lower low and now we created a pullback. From this pullback, okay, we tapped in to a supply. So we pulled straight back into a supply right here. Okay, so there's this one. Okay, we tapped straight into that, and within this trading range right here, we failed to break structure to the upside. So there's two things. We have the supply right here, okay, and we also have the structure here. We're creating higher highs. Okay, pull back, higher high, broke structure, pull back, push up, no higher high. So this is the first confirmation that we could be potentially expecting a reversal. We simply just cleared this wick, but we didn't close above it, and we touched into the supply. Straight away, guys, what do we get? Bear in mind, look at the timing. 8 a.m. Once again, this is something that I'm not going to discuss, but if you guys understand the fake London rally, something that we go over and over again in the group, you'll understand why this is literally textbook setup right here. So look at the 8 a.m. candle. Straight away after the 8 a.m. candle, FU candle, we create very strong momentum to the downside. After we do that, we changed of character here. Okay, so we have a chuck. Okay, change of character. We broke structure to the downside, and now upon the pullback is where we look to sell. Okay, so any pullbacks right here is where I'll be looking to short EURUSD. Okay, so there was a 30-minute IC that you could have looked at right here. Okay, there was also an imbalance right there. There was also a 10-minute IC. Okay, so apologies, was it 10-minute? Yeah, no, apologies, it was not the 10-minute. Okay, so there was a 30-minute institutional candle. Okay, the 10-minute IC comes after. So I would have set my limit right here. This is where I would have set my limit. Realistically, from this move right here, I wouldn't, there was no order flow price action, so this would have been specifically price action trade. I would have set my limit and I would have wanted to target this low. So this would have been a 13-to-1 risk to reward trade. That's where I would be aiming for. Reminder, there was no order flow set up here. Okay, the order flow comes after I spot what price happens right here. Okay, after I see what the order flow does, which is, this is the 6E chart, by the way. So this is the EURUSD future chart, and the order flow for this 30-minute candle here is right there. This is a 30-minute candle. Now this is the 10 minutes, so it's broken up obviously. So this is the order flow right here. Okay, so there was, I believe, some confluences right at the top here, but we never even reached it. Okay, so we didn't actually reach the confluence at the top right here. So realistically, there was not much confluences for me right here to short this other than price action. From an order perspective, doesn't make this setup any less valid or anything like that. Just order flow perspective, there wasn't that much confluences, other than the fact that we had the blue ratios right here. Okay, so these are signs of rejection. So they act as a level of resistance for us when we approach these levels. Okay, so the blue ratios right here. Okay, so as we approach that right here, we can see that we tapped right in, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to 10-minute time frame. We would have missed our setup right here. Okay, we would have missed our setup, which is okay because this is where I got my entry. So after I see that, and I see that structure's been confirmed, we created a new lower low. Bear in mind, we had to have that break of structure. Okay, we pulled back and we had a 10-minute institutional candle right here, and this is the area where I would have looked to short from. Okay, now let's take a look at what price has been doing here. So obviously, first and foremost, okay, we're close to the VWAP line. So this is a fairly good confirmation for us right here. Okay, so we're right at the VWAP. Okay, and bear in mind, guys, a lot of the terms and stuff I'm going to be talking about today, I'll briefly explain them, but I'm not really going to go into them on detail because that's something that will take literally forever. But just kind of try your best to understand the setup from a smart money perspective and somewhat from an order flow perspective. But all of these, basically the whole kind of strategy on order flow and the terms, explanations and stuff like that is done by the Braj in the order flow course. So if you're interested in that, you know where to head. Now, one of the first things that we notice is we get this big candle right here. Okay, so this 10-minute bearish engulfing candle, okay, that we have right here, and straight away what we can see is we're starting to see some large orders. Okay, so we're starting to see some large selling imbalances right here, and this candle, okay, was very strong. Look at the amount of selling imbalance. So this is called a stacked selling imbalance. When you have multiple red numbers on top of each other like this is a stacked selling imbalance, and in the future this can act as an area of resistance for us as well. We also have a single print right here. So see just one print with a red box around it. That just once again signifies exhaustion for us. So there are multiple confirmations in here. Okay, even the fact that we had a buying imbalance. Okay, a large amount of orders. Okay, in comparison to all the orders right here. Okay, there's a large amount of buy contracts. Okay, and we still failed to take price to the upside. So this is a sign right here that is clearly showing you that the sellers are clearly in control. No matter what the buyers are doing here, even with the size of the contracts right here, the sellers are still in full control, and that's clearly shown by the bearish candles that are printing. Okay, the bearish engulfing candles. Price obviously is a bit jumpy, I guess, very choppy around here. So we skip all of this. This is not a concern to me. All I understand is two things. I have my selling imbalances right here and my single print, and I also have my 10-minute institutional candle. So this would be the area I'd be looking to sell at once price comes back in and taps my area. So this is my open of the candle. This is my entry, and this is going to be the close of stop loss. This is a 3.3 pip stop loss. So price does this thing. Price comes right back up, guys. Look, and what do we have? We have a blue number right here. So what does this blue number mean? The blue number right at the top of basically like a bearish doji right here with the POC, okay, at the bottom. The point of control right here at the bottom. So this is basically where the most trading occurred. So basically what this is showing me is we have a blue selling, we have a blue buying imbalance right here. Basically telling me that there was a strong amount of buyers, okay, trapped at the top right here. Okay, and at the very top, once again, we have a single print, another sign of exhaustion. So there's only two contracts right at the top, and the second slot right here, we had 131 buyers. Okay, 131 contracts, but we still failed to close this candle bullish. So this signifies that this is a buyer's trap right here, and the fact that it was simply just a wick, the buyers bought right at the top of the wick, now they've been trapped, and we closed the candle bearish. Okay, so this is where I would now get into my entry, guys, right there. Once I see this confirmation, and another thing here is we have the blue ratio, the 65, okay, the 65.5. Okay, so this is the ratio bound high. Once I see that confirmation, straight away I'm market executing this. I mean, this was perfect. Even the retest that you had right here, guys, okay, the retest that you had right here on this 5 minute, where you see you had that one last retest. This could have been an order flow entry. This might not have been a price action entry. This one right here. This is a price action on order flow. This wick right here might have just been an order flow entry. Why? Because you could have entered off of the, if any of you guys know about the O2X setup, okay, that's another setup that we can potentially take a look at. Entering 2 slots below the number, below the single print right here. Okay, so right here, your entry would have been right here. Okay, so you would have waited for price to wick into that, and your stop loss would have simply been just 1 slot above the single print. Okay, or basically above the single print right here. So we had 2 single prints right here. Okay, we had clearly the selling imbalances acting as resistance. So the confluences there and the confirmations there were just incredible. And straight away, guys, you see, once we get that, boom, another single print to the downside. And by the way, look, we're playing around the VWAP right here. Okay, so we tapped into the VWAP, and price selling imbalances just absolutely melts from there on. Okay, and that was a beautiful, beautiful sell-off, as you can see yourselves. Okay, and a smash to take profit. Where were we aiming for? On the 45-minute time frame, we had an institutional candle right here, guys. Okay, so 45-minute candle, we had a beautiful institutional candle, which once again, that was another setup, okay, that you guys would have been able to capitalize on right here. Okay, so that was another setup where you guys would have been able to capitalize on right here, I believe, on the order flow. Sometimes it's kind of hard to navigate the software, but we move. So that was the setup right here. I'm not going to be able to scroll all the way back because I don't have the order flow data all the way back to the 45-minute institutional candle. But what do we simply have right here? Once again, we have the ratio bound low. Okay, so we have blue ratio right here. We have the sellers being trapped, but the point of control right here. Okay, still closing above. And then once again, I have a single print down here. Okay, and then I have my buying imbalances come in. And this once again is our confirmation that price was going to the upside. And after I get these buying imbalances right here, away goes, price flew. Overall though, that's not the setup that I wanted to show you guys here. This was the setup that I wanted to focus on. But you guys can see how we were able to swing this to the downside. Okay, we were able to short this in order to eventually buy price. Okay, buy your USD from this 45-minute time frame. Both setups you're able to look at from an order flow and smart money perspective, and that is literally as accurate and literally as high probable as it gets when it comes to institutional trading. Okay, and when I say institutional, I don't mean obviously the trading like the banks and all that stuff, because obviously we're not institutional traders, but you guys know what I mean. Okay, so with that being said, guys, that is pretty much it. Now, once again, guys, if you are interested in getting access to our order flow course, understanding everything that I just spoke about right there, make sure to head on to our website, fuacademy.io. It's an investment that you're literally not going to regret. Okay, every single person that has actually invested in the course, invested in the software, and started using this in their trading, not one single person has said that it's been worse off for them to actually try this. Okay, so whether it works out for you or not, this is something that you definitely at least want to experience. Okay, so I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching this video. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Have a good one.